so long ago. It must have been around, when I was in the 5th grade or something. I was really young when I got this book. But I think it's really cool. So I'm going to read some of these scary chapters for you guys. If you enjoy, definitely let me know down below in the comments. And of course, I will have all of my links in the description so that you can contact me or find me elsewhere. Now sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back. Relax. Relax, 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 relax. And enjoy the tingles. Tingles, 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 tingles. Okay, so obviously this is a however long book, like 300-page book, so I'm not going to be able to finish it in this one sitting, but if you do want me to continue reading this for you guys, just let me know. I'm not sure if you guys actually like my reading videos, but I don't know, I'll leave that door open. Anyways, let's get started. The beginning. The old woman stands on the hilltop, just on the edge of the woods, well hidden from the farmhouse below. 2 men and a woman are getting out of a car that has a sign for 𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒓 Realty painted on the side. The old woman has seen plenty of realtors in her time. She doesn't know this one, but she remembers his pa, old Jack Lingo, and his pa, Edward, and the one before him, back and back through the years, to the first Lingo to ever settle in this valley and take up the buying and selling of houses. Though young Lingo doesn't know it, Auntie is helping him sell that house to the man and the woman in the only way she knows, muttering and humming and moving her hands this way and that way, weaving spells in the air, sending messages as she's always done, messages that make folks need things not worth needing, dangerous things, things they regret getting. You might wonder why Auntie wants this man and woman to buy the house. Truth to tell, she doesn't give a hoot about them. They're ignorant fools, but they have something she wants, and she aims to get it. It's almost time for the change, and they've come on schedule, just as she knew they would. New for old, she chants to herself. Strong for weak, healthy for sickly, pretty for ugly. When the man and the woman follow young Lingo into the old Estes house, Auntie sways back and forth, grinning and rubbing her dry, bony hands together. Her skirt blows in the wind, and long strands of white hair whip around her face. With a little hop and a jig, she turns to something hidden in the trees behind her. Won't be long now, my boy. We'll get rid of the old pet and get us a new one to raise up. Though he stays out of sight, her companion makes a noise like a hog when it's hungry. A squealing sort of snort that might be a laugh, or it might be something else altogether. Auntie gazes down at the run-down farmhouse and outbuildings, the overgrown fields, the woods creeping closer year by year. From the hill, she can see the missing shingles in the roof, the warped boards riddled with termites and dry rot, the cracks in the chimney. Almost stories about the girl, the one before her, then the one before her, back and back to the very first girl. Fear keeps them out of the woods and away from the cabin on Brewster's Hill. Those children know all about Auntie and her companion. But newcomers always show up, city people who've never heard the stories. If the valley folk try to warn them, they scoff wild but not wonderful, in my opinion. It was like being in a foreign country. How would I ever get used to all the nature surrounding us? Beside me, Erica was talking to the doll Mom had given her. Not because it was her birthday or anything, but because she was so unhappy about leaving Farfield. That's rewarding bad behavior, if you ask me. I was just as unhappy as my sister, but since I didn't cry myself to sleep and mope in my room and refuse to eat, all I got was a pair of binoculars and Peterson's Field Guide to the Birds of North America. Dad thought that I might like to identify the birds we were sure to see when we went hiking. Well, maybe I would, but still, that doll was 10 times more expensive than my binoculars. It came with a little trunk full of clothes. There were even outfits in my sister's size so that she and the doll could dress alike. It had its own bed, too, and its hair was red, just like Erica's, and cut the same way. All the time we were in the van, Erica talked to the doll. She tried all its clothes on and told the doll how pretty it was. She hugged it and kissed it. She even named it Little Erica. It was making me sick. But every time I complained, Erica got mad, and we started quarreling, and Mom turned around and blamed it all on me. "Leave your sister alone, Daniel," she'd say. "She's perfectly happy playing with little Erica. Read a book or something." "You know I can't read in the car. Do you want me to barf all over that stupid doll?" At last, we turned off the interstate. The roads narrowed and ran up and down hills, crossed fields, past farms, and tunneled through the woods. We glimpsed mountains and swift rivers. The towns were further apart and smaller, some no more than a strip of houses and shops along the road. By the time Dad finally pulled off an unpaved road and headed down a narrow driveway, the woods around us were dark. In the van's headlights, the trees looked like a stage set lit by spotlights. The van bounced over ruts and bumps, tossing Erica and me toward and away from each other. "Stay on your side, Daniel," Erica said, "and stop banging into me and little Erica. We don't like it." "The doll doesn't care. She's not real." "She is so." "Be quiet, Daniel," Mom said. "It's not my fault," I said. "Instead of blaming me, tell Dad to slow down." Just then, we came out of the woods, and I got my first view of the house. It stood in the middle of a field of tall grass, weeds, actually. Even in the dark, I could see that the place was a wreck. The porch sagged under the weight of vines growing up the walls and across the roof. Tall, shaggy bushes blocked most of the windows on the first floor. Shutters hung crooked. Some were missing altogether. I was course not, sweetie, Dad said. Whatever gave you that idea? That's what happens sometimes in stories. Well, this isn't a story, Erica, Mom said. Dad got an ancient stove gas going, and Mom heated a pot of water. When it boiled, she dumped in noodles and heated a jar of marinara sauce. We ate our first meal in the house, picnic style, in front of the fire. Erica snuggled beside Mom and shared her food with little Erica. The food stuck to the doll's face, and Erica tenderly wiped her clean with a napkin. Later, we all crawled into our sleeping bags and watched what was left of the fire fall to ash. The lights were out, and the moon shone in through the tall windows. I heard Erica whispering to the doll. Sometime during the night, I woke up. I had drunk too much soda at dinner, and now I needed the bathroom. I eased out of my sleeping bag and got to my feet. Dad snored, Mom slept like a dead woman, and Erica murmured as if she were dreaming. I tiptoed across the floor and eased the front door open. It was easier to be outside than to find my way upstairs to the bathroom. The moonlight was brilliant, and the stars were clustered thickly over my head, more than I'd ever seen